Educational GMAT. Your partner in your GMAT journey.
This is clearly talking about a process or a flow chart. A process diagram, guys. Let's do that. All right. So guys, this is basically the diagram. We're talking about average time that a batch of ingredients. Okay. So 3/4 of the batches do not require any additional heating, while one half. So see, given this, all right, this is just for convenience. Since we are talking about, since we are talking about 3/4, which is by the way 3/4, and half is obviously 1/2, correct? So what we can do is just, and again, this is just for convenience purposes, we can actually take total number of batches as 4. All right. Now, out of 4 batches, can you tell me how many batches do not require additional heating? 3/4 of 4, which is 3. And how many batches require a second heating? 2. Notice half of them. Second mixing, correct? Second mixing. So a 2 requires second mixing. So just for convenience perspective, we can take total number of batches as 4. All right. So now it says the average time that a batch of ingredients takes to make it all the way through the process. So first of all, can you tell me what is the least amount of time that is required? Uh, Notice it would be 30 plus 5, right? Correct. 30 plus 5, 35, 55 plus 10, 65 plus 60, 125. 125 is the least amount of time that any batch would take. Correct. So now if you look, again, I'm hoping it's clear, guys. 30 plus 5 plus 20 plus 10 plus 60, right? So minimum that any batch would take is 125 minutes, right? So basically, if we are talking about 4 batches, all 4 batches require 125 minutes minimum. 3 batches, notice 3/4 of 4 would be 3 batches. They would require, they do not require additional heating, which means one batch does require additional heating. Agreed? So one batch would require additional heating, which means additional 20 minutes. And half of all batches require a second mixing, right? Second mixing, which means 2 of them require additional 20 minutes. So this is the total time that is required for 4 batches divided by 4. So that would give you the average, which would be, by the way, how much, guys? 500 plus 20 plus 40 divided by 4, which would be 560 divided by 4, which is 140. So that's the answer. Friends, are we clear with this calculation?
So
Ah,
it's mentioned that half of the batches require second HCl mixing. So that means the other two doesn't require. So when we are
correct.
adding 125, why are we adding 20 of the HCl mixing? Because 30 plus 6.
Additional, my dear friend. Second mixing. So one mixing is anyway required by all the batches.
Okay, got it.
Half of the batches require a second mixing. So one mixing is anyway required. That's the reason the minimum is 125 for every batch.
I got it, sir. Got it.
But out of these 4 batches, half, which means 2, require additional mixing. All right. And notice 3/4 do not require additional heating, which means 1/4 of 4, 1/4 of 4, which is 1, requires additional heating. And that additional heating is obviously 20 minutes. Yeah, all right. So now let's go to very similar average number of stages. Now, first, again, same thing, exactly same thing. Let's assume total number of 4 batches. Tell me what is the least number of stages. Notice, very nice. So basically 1 stage, 2 stage, second stage, I mean third stage, fourth stage, and fifth stage, right? So we are talking about total of 4 batches. So all the 4 batches obviously require 5. And then one batch would require what? Additional heating. Correct. One batch requires an additional stage. And what is that additional stage? Additional heating. And then 2 batches require one additional stage, right? And what is that additional stage? This one. And obviously divided by 4. Correct. So that would be 23, right? 23 divided by 4, which would be 5.7. So exactly the same approach for both these questions. Again, I think one tricky part was, why did we assume 4 as the total number of batches? Well, this was just from a computational simplification perspective, because we are talking about 3/4, which is 3 by 4, and half. So essentially, I just took LCM. So we've taken 4 here. Obviously, you could have taken an 8 or a 16 or whatever, but 4 is the simplest.